Hi everyone, this is in front of you. So today in this video, we are just going to make an project. The name of the project is going to be an NotesMaker app. So in this project, what we'll do, we'll just simply make a NotesMaker in which we'll do an all type of operation, means crude operation, means create, update, delete, and adding. So we'll do all this kind of operation, and we have to make a format in which we are able to put our notes, and then we are able to, and we can also download that notes. Okay. So for that, what I did, so start from the app.jsx. In the app.jsx, what I did, I import here a route creates, means from React Router DOM. Okay, React Router DOM is a library in which we'll download a route and routes. Okay, and before that, as you can see here, we had imported import browser router as router from React Router DOM, and then we wrap that app file in the router component, and after that in the app.jsx we import route and routes from React Router DOM, and then there's a routes. In that routes we had wrapped the route. In the route there is a path and there's an element. On clicking the path, we'll just able to redirect on that particular component. So for that particular component, there is a particular path. Okay, that means nodes for the nodes component and navbar for the navbar component. Okay, this is what the app.jsx. And if we talk about home.jsx, home.jsx is the main component at which I'll do all kind of, at which I'll wrap all the main components. Okay, so first thing what I did, I imported a navbar, and then there's a nodes imported, and import styles. There's a module file for home.jsx, and there's a use state. Okay, so in the home.jsx, I made an arrow function, means the function, and there's a use state for array and set array, and another use state for object and set object. Okay, so let's understand for what reason I made here array and set array. Okay, so because we have to make a kind of list of nodes. So for making this list, the list should be an array, and the elements of that of and the list should be an array, and then items of that particular list is an object for that array. Means the object should be an element of an array. Okay, so this is what I want, and in that object there are two keys. The first one is starter, and the second one is text. Okay, so yeah, at the beginning, the title and text should be empty. Okay, and then there's a styles dot home, and there's a navbar. In that navbar, there's an object and there's a set object array, and then set array. I just wrap all that object and set object in that prop, so we are able to use in that all these components or all these objects and array into the another components. Okay, there's a navbar and there's a nodes. Okay, and if we move to the neighbor, because neighbor is going to be our main branch. Okay, in the neighbor, let's explain it from the output as well. So yeah, this kind of output which I made. In that output, as you can see, as I told, I made an array. In that array there are particular elements, and the elements are the object. Okay, so let's suppose this is an array, in which array, whenever I click on that particular button. Okay, so there is a search bar come, and if I took here HTML, and then I put here this means this is an HTML file. HTML file. Okay, and I did here that. So it comes into an array. Means this is an object. In the top is a particular key which is a title, and another key which is in text of that particular of that particular node. And there is an we made here an object. The object comes into an array, and whenever we make, let's suppose I did here CSS, and this is an CSS file. Okay, so if I took this, then this uses another object which comes also in that array. Okay, so this is what I made. So how did I able to do? Okay, so the first thing is if we go on that part navbar. So in the navbar, as you can see here, there is a box called a navbar box. Okay, and there is an add box. After the add box, there is span add notes, and there's a button called handle button, and class name means styles dot plus. Okay, so I am talking about this button, the add notes, and there's a this button which is style dot plus. Okay, and after that there is another button called edit. So as you can see, edit is there, but it's also part of that particular button. Okay, so how did I do? I just give here the particular margin, and if we came on the item, then item means what I did here. Uh, so yeah, so the item only works when the item becomes true. Okay, why? Because item becomes true, and then we are able to do the handle submit, and handle submit. In that handle submit, there are particular input. The input, what kind of input? The input is that a input bar, and there is a save button. Okay, so when the item becomes true, mm, so yeah. Uh, as you can see here, there are the item becomes true. In that item, as you can see, there is a form. Okay, in that form, there is a particular styles.int, and then in there is a type called text and ID called title, and that placeholder enter your title, and there's a handle object. Okay, yeah, there's an handle object, and class name is style.search bar, and there is a button called save button. So I'm talking about this one. This is in search bar, and this one is in input. There is a button called for the save button. So on chain means handle object. We are just handling that objects. The name of the function is handle object. So if we came on the handle object, there's an event, and there's another event or prevent default for preventing the reloading of the page. And there's a set object, and that set object we are just taking the all the keys of that particular object. Okay, and then this is for the we are adding for the new key. Okay, event.target ID and event.target.value. Okay, for that this is for that reason. And if we come on the if we come on the bottom part, there is a map function, because we had added all the objects into an array. Now it's time to display all that objects. Okay, so how do we able to display? So with the help of math method, we'll just iterate the array, iterate the array on that particular object, and we are just printing that object. Okay, so styles.container and styles.display. Okay, and styles.item means we are just taking that item, means that particular one is called as an item, and then there's a handle open. Okay, so why I did here handle open? So once I click on that particular object, so the object should be rendered. So how do I able to do object should be rendered? Okay, so there's an on click handle open. So if you came on the handle object, there is a set object. In the set object, I'm just setting that particular. I'm just taking an index from there and just setting just set that particular index, means particular object of that index into a set object, and then I'll do an edit, means edit for if I wanted to edit something in that particular. Okay, so there is a set object, and array of ice means that particular object will be replaced from that object. Okay, so only for that there is a handle. So there is a handle open. Okay, and there is a element dot title. Element dot title, for what reason? Element dot title means that the title one. Okay, and then after there is a styles.delete. Okay, on the styles.delete there is a button called on click button and the handle button. In the header button there is a trash one, and this one, if we click on that, so we'll able to remove that particular object from the array. So if we come on the handle object, so for deleting we'll just use a filter method. Simply there is a filter method for deleting any element from that array. Okay, and if we talk about the generate PDF and all this, so there's a library called generate PDF. So I use here generate PDF for just downloading that particular file. If I'll show you, so I downloaded here particular file because there's a no. That's what I'm just able to download that file. Okay, let me download it. So yeah, as you can see, the particular file. So yeah, this is an HTML file. So that is how I am able to download that particular file. Okay. So this is for the download button. If I came on a note one, so this is a note one means now I'm come on that section. In that section, what are these things? First thing, there's a node module, and if I came on the form one, okay, the notebooks, okay, in the notebooks there is a container one. In that container there is a title called object.title. I'm talking about this one. Okay, means by default, if we can say if I reloaded that page, then this is by default a name which title comes. So how this title comes from that h1 object.title. If it becomes true, and then we return empty. If it becomes for means uh, object.title should be empty, and if should be empty, then we'll just write title, because if there is another title, then we'll just replace the another title from that particular title, and then there's object.title. Okay, and There is a second container. For what reason there is a second container? There is a second container. Okay. In that second container, there are all buttons: bold, italic, underline, left, and right. I use to just to changing the styling for that particular text of that note. And then there is a form for on submit, for handle submit. And a handle submit, there is a text area. This is a particular text area in which we are writing the whole notes. Okay, in that particular there is an ID, there is an in columns, rows, and a handle change. Okay, in that handle change, what we are doing, just take a look. Yeah, in the handle change, the same thing, event dot prevent default and handle set object. In the set object, all the previous keys and values of that particular object. There's an for adding the new keys and object into the element dot target dot ID and element dot target dot value. Okay, and then after there is a handle submit. Handle submit means once we click on the save button, then the handle submit will be triggered. In the handle submit, there is an event or target or default, and there is a set array. In the set array, we'll just taking all the previous value of that particular array, and then we are adding the new object, means the new element. Okay, this was the handle object. And if I talk about the this one, bold, and how do I able to do this bold, and this is italic for cons handle board event dot prevent default set bold not equals to bold. Okay, means initially it becomes false. Okay, and if it becomes false, so there is a property, if document dot get element by ID text dot style font weight should be bold. This is a part of a DOM, what I use here. And else, if it not becomes, then then a document dot get element by ID, it becomes normal one. Okay. So that is what I wanted to do. And this is the same for the italic one, and this was same for underline one. And if I talk about all the two, so there's a left and there's a right. And the same thing, event dot pivot set left not equals to left, and document dot get element by ID text and dot style dot text align equal to left, and the set right, because once I click on the left one, then I wanted to shift it, towards the right one. So for that, I have to do this set right to the left true, to do it false. And if I took element dot prevent default, so this for the right one. So let me add an object. This was HTML. So this is an okay. So if I wanted to do it bold, so I able to do it bold. If I wanted to do italic, so I able to do italic. If I wanted to make an underline to that particular text, so I can. I wanted to shift it towards the right one. So with the help of that function, I am also able to do the right one. If I wanted to do left one, so I can. And if I wanted to save, so as you can see, we are able to save. So this is what the project is, and which are given to us. And thank you.